Good day, good morning, good afternoon, good tomorrow, depending on where you are in the country or on the planet. I hope you're doing well. Gray, hello. I hope everyone is doing well too. Mason, hey, I'll be late. Should be on soon. Awesome, Mason. You probably didn't hear me read your comment, but look forward to you being able to join. Gray Brewer, I don't remember conversing with you. So welcome if you are new to our little group here. This Sunday, we at the Powers family are getting together to carve or paint or do cookie cutters or something on pumpkins. So that should be interesting. Bite Moose, hello, welcome. I'm curious if jack o' lantern carving is that a global phenomenon? Do folks in other parts of the world carve pumpkins? Aunt Pruitt, hello, my friend. It's great to see you here. Are you Aunt? Are you a pumpkin carving or painting or displaying sort of family? We've had various levels of excitement about carving pumpkins as the years have gone from having little kids to having older kids to having our kids having kids of their own. If I were to be completely honest, I am in full support of carving pumpkins because I like pumpkin seeds roasted in the oven so much. That's really my favorite part of it. Used to carve, not anymore. I just want pie. Oh, see, pie and pumpkin seeds? Yeah, I'm all about consuming those suckers. So, yeah, Bite Moose, we get pumpkins, and some people cut out faces, but not as good as in the U.S. I mean, I appreciate that you think that everyone in the U.S. does a good job of them. I am not of the skilled carving variety myself. I'm generally a few triangles for eyes and nose, and then a jagged little mouth. Although I did see, probably on like Instagram or something like that, somebody said we've been carving pumpkins wrong our entire lives, and they had a good point. Instead of carving the top off, making like a lid, they flipped it, cut the bottom off, made it flat, and then scooped out the guts and carved a face like normal. But then they just put the candle on the little flat bottom piece and took the whole pumpkin and put it over top of that flat piece. And it just makes so much sense to me. I mean, why haven't we done it that way the whole time? I don't know. But yeah. Dame and I tend to skip the carving and go right for the seeds and pot. Yeah, I am a huge fan of the seeds. And then I see like if there's a community gathering like at a school or a church or something where like a bunch of carvings are going on and they just throw away all those seeds in the pumpkin snot. Oh, I'm so sad because I'm thinking that's the best part. That's the best part. And right? I mean, even if it starts to go soft and like the pumpkin goes foomp over top of the like disc that you cut out of the bottom, it's still just sitting there in pumpkin shape. And like then when the top gets weird, it doesn't fall in. I don't know. I think that's pretty brilliant too. So I might try to convince somebody to do that. So since I have a 2-year-old granddaughter, I think she's gonna be into it for the first time this year. And so the family is getting together later. And Don and I just got like, I don't know, 8 pumpkins or something. And so there's going to be some carving and some roasting of pumpkin seeds going on. But I'm going to have somebody try to do the bottom thing. So we'll see how that works. The bottom thing, that's carving the bottom out of a pumpkin instead of the top. I don't know. That just sounded dirty to me. Anyway, that's the plan. I also wonder if other countries and Bite Moose, I know that you are from across the big pond, is decorating houses and such for Halloween as popular, and then is trick or treating a universal phenomenon? I just don't know all of the things. So yeah, I'm curious how that compares. And trick or treating has gotten strange here. It used to be, I mean, back in my day, we would just go out on Halloween night. Once it got dark, we would go out trick or treating. But now trick or treating is generally like, it's often just on the closest Saturday, and it's during the daylight hours, and it's a very specific time. it focuses really heavily on businesses now here. There fewer and fewer people go to houses. So I don't know. Things did change more with COVID. You are correct, and I guess maybe that's part of it. It seemed like even before that, like we bought a house. It's probably been 10 years ago now, maybe, that we bought our house. Yeah, I think 10 years ago. And we live like in a downtown area, but like downtown um like housing areas, like blocks, like downtown blocks of houses. And we expected to get so many trick-or-treaters because it's just, house, 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 street, house, 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 house. We are in the thick of where it would be like really good trick-or-treating. And the first couple years we got a ton of candy and like two trick-or-treaters the whole night. And we had like our lights on and we even had like decorations. I don't know. It just feels like people don't trick-or-treat. So now we don't even buy candy. We turn off the lights because we don't want to like get candy for like one random trick-or-treater. So it's really strange. The whole trunk or treat thing seems to be more popular now, where you'll take kids to a parking lot and everybody will have their cars and the kids go car to car and get candy from people. So I don't know. I mean, it's fine. Change it. There's nothing wrong with change, but oh, I missed a bunch. Well, it's a good problem when I miss comments. I have to scroll up. Graybird, thanks, Sean. I've been a fan over years. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. So here, I pop this up on screen real quick. The man, I have to learn development too, because the Google Cloud stuff I'm teaching for my day job, I'm just not a developer, and so much of the Google Cloud stuff is programmatic that oh man, I am on the struggle bus there. So yeah, I get that. I totally get that. Mason bought pumpkin today. Cool. Oh, pardon me. Yeah, and pumpkin seeds like pre-cooked in the store, like when you get them in a bag, one, they're too salty. I think you can get them less salted these days, but they're just not the same as like warm out of the oven. Maybe not quite crispy, like just a little bit squishy in the middle. Oh, they're just perfect. I love not slimy, but just like warm and soft, but still crunchy on the outside. Love some well roasted pumpkin seeds. Oh, let's see. Bite Moose, around where we live, if you want kids to trick or treat, people put decorations in the garden and windows. And I do know from that garden, by garden you mean what we would consider yards, like our front yard. You would consider the front garden. Do you refer to anything as a yard? I mean, not a unit of measure, but like, we have front yard and backyard, and I know that over there they're referred to as gardens. But do you have things that you call a yard? And then what do you refer? Are they just vegetable gardens if you're growing food? Because that's what we refer to as a garden. I knew there was nuance, but I guess I didn't really know all the nuance there. Let's see. We don't do much in terms of decorating the house in the UK. Okay. Trick or treat with the kids. Only the houses normally have something Halloween related in the garden or window. Okay, all right, that's interesting. Yeah, so here the general rule is if your porch light is on Halloween night, that means that you have candy for people. So whether you're decorated or not, a porch light on is generally like the invite. And I got in trouble one year because we haven't been doing candy, like I said, because we get like one or two, the whole evening. But I had home automation automatically turn on my porch light every night when the sun went down. So our porch light would flick on even though I had turned it off. Oh, yeah. So we had trick-or-treaters. I'm like, what? Oh, I'm like giving them, I don't even know, like, here's some drywall screws. No, I don't know why. I'm sure I did something. But nonetheless, yeah, we got in trouble. I have to remember that, in fact, this year to shut off the automation for Halloween. I should probably set up like you can set up in Home Assistant, like actions, triggers, and like I should make it like unless it's October 31st. I should do that. Nonetheless, let's see. Anyway, it varies by areas. We have some events on Saturday before trick-or-treating evening of. Interesting. There are certainly things that could be more organized, but trick-or-treating is a huge part of community building. Yeah, I mean, it was the thing when I was growing up, but I mean, that was half a century ago. So, I also lived in inner city Detroit growing up, so we had to take all the candy that we got to the police station, and then they would run it through an X-ray machine, and they would examine it and keep half the candy. I think that the police officers just kept the good candy and said it was suspicious. That's my thought, but whatever, it's fine. I didn't need candy. Pardon me. But you was going to look at Python, look up automate the boring stuff. Oh, okay. I will have to do that. I'll have to look at that book. Oh, and no, what was the comment? You probably can't say. Dang it, we had an issue with the mod on Twitch a while ago, and I thought I had solved it. Huh. Well, I apologize. I can't imagine you would have said anything that would have upset the mod, but nonetheless, all right. Okay, how's my Linux background help my Google Cloud? Honestly, it's helped in some areas, but not a ton. It's so developer centric. So developer centric. So I mean, I understand a lot of what's happening, but the ability to do it or do it efficiently is just lost on me. So my life is basically cram, have like a grasp of the information, teach it, and then move immediately onto the next subject where I cram. So yeah, it's a little bit frustrating, but nonetheless. Okay, here we go. Yard is usually with workspaces, like builder's yard. Oh, okay. Yeah, U.S. yard and U.K. garden. Yeah, that, and then is a place where you would grow vegetables. Is that just called like a vegetable garden? I think so. One of my coworkers lives in England, and I think I've had this conversation with her, and I think it's I think she just calls it like a vegetable garden, but I could be wrong. It could be something else, but I think that's what we would call a garden. Y'all would call a vegetable garden. All right. So yes, there are also, so here's just some more weirdness. There are some families at least in the area up here, that don't carve pumpkins. They paint them. They like paint faces and stuff on the pumpkin and never cut them open. And I mean, I guess they last longer that way. I mean, they're still going to rot. They're still a vegetable, but are they a vegetable or are they a fruit? I guess I don't know that. But painting faces, I don't know. I think we did it a couple of years just because like some of the girls' friends did, but it's weird for me. I mean, why would you don't get to eat the seeds? I mean, you can paint anything, but yeah, I don't know. It was odd for me. But nonetheless, we're definitely going to do some carving. My eldest, who has our granddaughter, wanted us to get some cookie cutters. And so we got some cookie cutters and like a rubber mallet, and they're going to like use them to carve shapes with, I guess. I don't know. We're going to see how that goes. Mason, just call it all a garden. Oh, so whether it's just grass or tomatoes, it would all just be a garden. Huh. Okay. All right. Painting pumpkins are popular there as well. That is interesting. I agree. Great. I mean, I don't know, painting, it just seemed weird to me, but I mean, I guess it's less messy if you're somebody who doesn't like mess. And I'm sure, they do keep longer. If you want to have them on your porch for a couple more weeks, they'll probably last longer. But then it's not like after a couple of weeks they carve them. They just had to like throw away a whole pumpkin. A vegetable patch. Interesting. Okay. So yeah, we're kind of having like several conversations here, I realize, but Mason, I appreciate that. So what in the US we would call a garden, you call a vegetable patch. Okay. Maybe that's what my coworker Simona said too. It might, I knew I'd had the word vegetable in it, but okay. Interesting. Veg patch, veg garden, all the same ish. All right. All right. It is funny. I mean, we have, I mean, garden very specifically for us. Garden means like you could have a flower garden, but that's stretching the definition of garden in our minds. Um, Usually, garden means you're growing food. It's like beans and corn and tomatoes. That's a garden. And then, like, if it's grass, it's going to be a yard. And yeah, you can have flowers. If you could have a flower bed, I guess we do call it like a flower bed. You could have a flower bed as part of your yard, part of the landscaping of your yard. Um, Olive Garden guy. Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what. If you got unlimited breadsticks in Europe, and in the front and behind your house all the time, I would totally have gardens in the front and the back. Mm. uh, Also, I think that gardens. No, I almost said it wrong here. I think that lawns are absolutely a waste of just everything. I mean, they're a waste of water. They're a waste of of ground that could be used for something else. And yet, there's so much. They're pretty. I guess the green grass grows all around, all around. But as far as like a crop, they seem silly to me. I also really hate mowing, so I'm a little bit embittered to the whole grass thing. If I could have a gravel front yard and a gravel backyard, I couldn't in the front because the hill's too steep, but pave. I could just pave the entire thing. Oh yeah. Yeah, see, I'd be okay with that. Yeah, I don't think that makes me a good person, but I just hate mowing grass and trimming grass and all that stuff. So anyway, yeah, this let's see. So Halloween is coming. Winter is very quickly approaching. It seems to be sneaking up on us here. I did try to go fishing this weekend. I went fishing yesterday, and the water levels are extremely low around here. Like, we have not had much rain, and I didn't realize just how little rain we had had. I went to a pond at a state park. It's like a half hour away, and there was like the water was like 2 foot low, and it's not a big pond. So like the water in the pond that was there, half the pond was like maybe 6 inches deep. It was really strange. I caught two smallish fish, but it just looked like something was wrong with the water. So I don't know. I don't fish enough in recent years to know if that's normal for this time of year or if it's particularly low. But yeah. That pay front lawn is going to be slick in the winter. You know what, though? Man, yeah. I should probably pave our driveway first. So we live on the side of a hill, and it's very steep. It's so steep that I've had an electric lawnmower since before it was cool to have electric lawnmowers. Like, our first one had literally an extension cord you had to plug into the house. And the reason is because it's so steep that a gas mower would stall. No, because the angle of the hill is so steep that it would stall. And so we had to get an electric one, and it's just such a pain in the butt to mow. But even worse, our driveway goes up that same hill. It's not long. I mean, it's a in city lot. It's a small lot, but our driveway goes straight up, and it's gravel, and the gravel just slowly keeps falling and falling and falling and falling and falling. So our driveway is constantly miserably ruddy, but paving stuff is so expensive. Anyway, I'll stop complaining. But Musari, prepping for Christmas. Yes, Black Friday is a big thing over. Yeah, I'm happy to report that Black Friday is less of a big thing than it used to be, like pre-COVID. Not to steal Ant's reflection on like when society drastically changed, but I think pre-COVID, especially Black Friday, the sales were, I mean, yeah, they were good sales, but people got stupid. I mean, like the whole fights at stores and stuff, that really happened, and people getting trampled. I mean, that really happened. That is mostly gone now, I think. It's mostly gone. there are still sales, but so many people buy stuff online that generally the whole Black Friday shopping isn't quite what it was. It's probably still ridiculous, but nothing like it used to be. I don't think there's trampolines anymore, or anything like that. Gray Brewer. So I have to be honest. Like I said, I've had an electric mower for like 10 years. That was before the battery powered ones were really cool, but I've had two battery powered ones now. We used one so much that it literally caught on fire and burned itself up. It was just, we don't have a great place to store it. So it was like exposed to the elements a lot. So, I mean, I don't blame it for having issues. But the next one, the most recent one we've had for like 3 years now, it's like 56-volt battery. I can't remember the brand name, but it's amazing. It's self-propelled, and it's the size of a regular push mower, but it's self-propelled. It'll pull itself up the hill on our, in our house. And as long as I don't let the grass grow absurdly long, one battery charge will cut our whole front lawn. And so, yeah, it's been amazing. I'm really, truly happy with the electric mowers now. The batteries technology has gotten to the point where it's very viable to have a battery powered mower. I even see they have riding ones now, like a riding battery powered mower. And I guess it shouldn't surprise me too much, right? I mean, go-karts have been battery powered forever. So, just add a spinning blade to the bottom. But it just seems funny to me, like a battery powered riding lawnmower. But I'm sure, they probably work really well. Less finicky to get started and stuff. That's the thing about mowers, especially up where I live. The winter is so long and harsh that gas engines sit and do nothing for the bulk of the year, and then you have to like get them going again, and they don't like that. So, how many Thunderbolt ports did yeah, I have zero regrets with the battery powered push mower. And when I went to get it, it was when the first one we had caught on fire. Like I had to go get another one that day because I had to mow the lawn. And I just went to the local Lowe's. It's just probably don't. I don't know if you have Lowe's over there, but I don't know, but just a big box like construction store. Anyway, they had a push mower, and I didn't even realize the one I got was self-propelled. But when I got it home and realized it was self-propelled, it was even that much cooler. It just pulled itself up the hill. It's amazing. Yeah. It really is an awesome lawnmower. And we've had it like 3 or 4 years, maybe 3 years, and the battery still holds a charge really well. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I had a webcam and flask as a front end, set the room over and just smiled at neighbors. So yeah, I'll tell you what, they do sell Roomba-like mowers, but you have to have a very flat, level lawn. And I think it actually cuts with like a string trimmer instead of a blade, but that would be cool. But yeah, it's so steep. Our hill is so steep. I say that it will pull itself up, but you have to like manhandle it into place to get going up the hill. And then once it's like in place, then it will pull itself up as you follow it with the handle. But it's still sadly not to the point where it could automatically do it. It would never get started. But once it's started, it'll pull itself up. In fact, just our house is on such a hill. I actually said to my wife today as we were like walking up the steps, God, I mean, we're getting older. We should probably sell this house and get like a single story house that is ground level. Because when we're 80, it's going to be a lot less fun trying to get up those steps. I mean, that's going to be rough. We have some stores in the city. He's got a Costco down the road. Oh, Bite Moose. Oh, that's cool. Andre, good to see you again. Will Linux be continued? I hope so, but same as last time. I don't have a solid answer for you. I'm struggling a lot at my day job. If I'm being completely honest, I'm really having a difficult time, and so I just haven't had any spare cycles to work on it. What I might end up doing, Andre, and one of the big issues too is the spot we're at in Linux Plus is kind of challenging to outline and like cover everything. So I might even cheat and skip over the objective that we're on and start on the next one, and then come back to it after I get into a groove just to get more content out. It's just all those little bash commands and stuff, and it's just like trying to work some kind of thing to get all of them explained and covered properly. It's a little overwhelming, so maybe I will skip over that and go to the next one. So I don't have a solid day for you. I'm so sorry to continue to push the Linux Plus stuff off, but man, I hope I can get a handle on my day job. But so far, it's constant struggle and frustration. Also, my office right now is so stinking hot that I need to turn the air conditioner on. So, pardon me while I load up Home Assistant here. All right, yeah. So, it reports that my office is currently, well, it thinks it's 81. Oh, 82. Yeah, it's hot in my office. So it looks like 82, maybe higher. I mean, Fahrenheit. It's not 80 degrees Celsius. That'd be a little much, but nonetheless. Shame new work is being a pain in the butt. Oh, I know. And I'll be completely honest. My day job timing is very flexible, which is a blessing. But there's still so much that having that flexibility also means that sometimes, more often than not, it goes outside of a 9 to 5 in a bad way. You know, it'll be like, I have so much work to do. I can't really stop now. I gotta figure this out. And so it'll be like, 7:30 at night, and I've been working since 7 o'clock that morning. And yeah, it's hard to have a healthy work-life balance when you work from home and you have a flexible schedule. Yeah, I'm complaining about all these really nice flexible things, but I think that I'm not disciplined enough to really be perfectly successful with that kind of flexibility. It was much better when I was teaching stuff that I knew and understood. But anyway, it pays well. I just gotta knuckle under and learn it. I wish that I would have taken development classes when I was in college. When I went to college, and I never got a degree, but when I went to college, computer science was just programming. It was like, if you wanted a computer science degree, that meant that you were getting a degree in, C programming. I wish that I would have taken some of those classes and had like a base of programming to build from. I mean, even though now it's so much different, I just feel like my brain would think that way a little bit better. So, yeah. It's fine. What are you looking to dev in? So with Google Cloud, it supports a lot of different languages, but it's like just enough not development that I can do a lot of the stuff, but then it like integrates with development stuff, like, it'll integrate with these, 6 different languages so that you can programmatically do all these things, and then I have to figure out not only what it's talking about, but how to do it in at least one language. And ideally I should be able to like show the various, advantages and disadvantages of using different languages, but it's just all beyond my ken. So, yeah. Great. Let me know if I could be any use with the Linux Plus videos. I appreciate that. Okay. You know what? And that reminds me. So normally I would say, hey, go to the Discord, and I'll say that now, but I haven't logged into Discord in so stinking long. I am a terrible Discord person. So, yeah. If you're not on the Discord, go there. I'll try to make a note to check in at least on the Discord. That used to be like the central landing place for us all. Let's see, HTTPS, Discord. I mean, I'm even paying like for features on Discord, and I haven't even stinking logged in. So anyway, I see a lot of devs being burnt out nowadays or work to the bone. Yeah, I worked pretty close with the dev team at CBT Nuggets for a while. So I worked at CBT Nuggets for a long time, and then I got moved from a training role to, well, it ended up being like a crypto thing, Filecoin, for trying to figure out storage and IPFS stuff. And anyway, but while I was there, I worked with the dev team that was creating their new learning platform. And yeah, developers like full-time developers are amazing, but yeah, they do a lot of work. And yeah, I understand how they get burned out, but I wish that I had just a hint of knowing how all that stuff worked. Oh, you're a Discord member too. Okay, yeah. You've been slacking, huh? Using Slack instead of Discord, and I know that's not what you meant, but I actually do use Slack a lot more because we use it for work. All right, so I am. Oh man, I have. If you are logged into this live stream and you have been messaging me on Discord, I have just a string of notifications here. I am so sorry. I haven't even seen them. Oh, I'm such a douchebag. I will work on that. I'm going to try to work on that this week. Oh, I'm a terrible human being. Anyway, yeah, I think I just don't know. And then after I get done with this Google course that I'm making now, there's like more Google courses. So I completed the like entry level Google Cloud Digital Leader is what it is, like certification. And now I'm working on the Associate Cloud Engineer course, the ACE course, the one that's like their most popular certification course. And after that, there's like all these different specialty certifications. And so I'll be going through those one at a time. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure by the end I'm going to be a Google expert, but I wish I liked it more. I wish it came more naturally to me as well. But nonetheless, I think it's global. Companies want more and more for the same, if not less. Yeah, and I wasn't sure how the pandemic would affect remote working and how that pertained to workers in other countries even. It's just been weird, which isn't surprising. Some friends of mine who recently got new jobs, at companies, they are allowed to work from home some, but it's almost always a hybrid situation where they can work depending, like 2 days a week in the office, 3 days at home. So, there's some time, it's like basically just a hybrid type thing, which doesn't allow for truly remote workers if you have to be in the office 2 days a week. So I don't know. Speaking of things are not good anymore, I gotta say, wherever you are in the world, think happy thoughts for us in the U.S. here as our election approaches in a few weeks, because it's unsettling. I mean, no matter what side of the political spectrum you might be on, I can just imagine it's going to be a nightmare. So yeah, just think pleasant thoughts if you know people in the U.S. and you like them. Think happy. Send good vibes, please. Andre, is IT worker? No, it is. Sysadmin wise, I was a kid back then. It's funny. So IT is just different, I think. I think it's fair just to say that IT just continues to be different. We're working less and less on bare metal things. Virtualization has changed what a sysadmin means. but it, true sysadmin jobs are similar with with shiny new covering on it, but I mean conceptually it's still all the same. Um, the idea of DevOps has changed a lot because a lot of the things that required a team of people to do can now be programmatically done. So that's interesting. But excuse me, yeah. Um, oh, do I happen to have any advice for someone early in their cloud learning path, given the new perspective you may have? Great, yes. And anybody in IT, get some foundational experience with development. I mean, even if you don't want to be a developer, if it, even if you have no desire to be like a developer, get some familiarity with development, even if it's like just understanding how to do stuff with writing Python programs, that sort of a thing. Just because so much stuff is interacting with APIs instead of manually doing things. A lot of the configuration stuff is now done programmatically. So having that, even just a light background in development, is going to be extremely helpful because while you'll need to understand what's going on behind the scenes, the actual doing, a lot of it's going to just be writing code. And so, yeah, that would be the biggest thing I have recommendation wise. Bite moves where we are, managers are expecting people to cover more areas for the same pay. Yeah, I mean, and it's frustrating too. I'm gonna pop this up just so I know what I'm talking about here. About, I mean, that's what technology was supposed to automate things for us, so we would have more free time, right? I mean, that was always the promise since the Industrial Revolution, right? I mean, all of the robots are gonna do the hard work so we can relax, but all that's happening is robotics and automation and DevOps and all that stuff is just allowing us to do more with our limited time. We're not doing any less. We're just doing more and more because our tools allow us to do more. We're not working any less hours or less hard. It's very frustrating. The false promises that IT was going to be this amazing thing and our lives were going to be simpler because of it. It's just a big old lie. It just means that we're doing more things, and honestly, less free time, I think. But I digress. Bite moose. Hope everything goes okay with the election. Not seeing anyone eating dogs. Oh, I know, and I try hard not to get political, but yeah. I'm concerned about what the next few weeks are going to bring here in the U.S. I'll just say that. Yeah, and I live in the way that voting here and federal elections work because of the electoral college and just the way voting works. Some states, their votes matter a lot more. Shouldn't be the case, but I live in Michigan, one of the swing states, one of the states that will decide the presidential election. And so everybody in my state is inundated with advertisements, and candidates are basically only visiting like 6 states because those 6 states are the ones where it's close enough that if they can tip the scale one way or another, it'll matter. So I hate that my vote matters more than the majority of people in the country, and I also hate what that means. And like I said, every day our mailbox is full of junk mail flyers from every political person in the world. It's just, or not in the world, but in the country. It's just so annoying. Anyway, let's see. I ran up 2 Proxmox servers this weekend. Decided to get that working, so I can have a Linux playground to work on. Okay, Bite Moose, if you have 2 Proxmox servers, are you going to cluster them? And if so, are you going to have because you have to have an odd number. So are you going to have just like what do they call it? Like a quorum machine? You can get a Raspberry Pi. I think you can actually possibly create a virtual machine on one of them, but you don't want necessarily on one of the servers itself. But are you going to have like a third that is just a quorum machine so you can do clustering with those 2 Proxmox servers? Because I'm curious. Bite Moose, am I the only one in the team who... Oh, you are the only one in the team who works with Python, API Netbox, Switch Build Automation, API from SolarWinds. like the way they are saying the young generation won't know how to use a PC when use phones. Yeah, yeah, and that's and that's why things like so here this and Bite Moose's next comment after this. That's why I think it's still important for things like learning Linux and getting Linux certifications. I think it's important because somebody needs to know what's happening behind all of those abstraction layers, right? Somebody has to be the person in charge of abstracting away all the stuff that people are using now, like with Google Cloud, right? Google Cloud just abstracts away other servers. There's not magic in the cloud. It's just servers, and there's a software layer that somebody has to manage work that's running on servers. And yeah, that's why I'm still kind of passionate about people understanding Linux because, most of the cloud services are running Linux underneath, even if you don't see them. And so, somebody needs to know that. It's kind of like the space race back in the 60s. They were designing so quickly and doing so many things like with rockets that when there was renewed interest in rockets and going to space and stuff, a lot of the rocket technology from the 60s, the knowledge was just lost. There wasn't good documentation. So, gosh, I remember seeing on the news that like maybe 10 years ago or so, 8 years ago, they were going back to literally rocket scientists who were now like in their 80s, trying to get them to, explain like, what does this part do and why is it designed this way? Because it was at such a rush that there was no documentation. And I just worry about that with IT a little bit. If there's not a large group of people that understand what's happening behind the abstraction, that's just a scary place to be. So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox there, I guess. But yeah, Northern Champlo. Let me skip cluster them. Got 2 more discs on the way, and a Pi. Okay, it'll be the third machine. Very cool. Very cool. I've never done that. I've never set up just a third small like Raspberry Pi as a quorum machine to get a cluster going with only 2 main servers. But I know that it's possible, and it's not even really a hack. I mean, it's a legitimate thing because it's just has to keep track of, what's running and for failover purposes. So you have to keep us posted how that works because, I considered doing that when I set up my Proxmox cluster, but I actually opted to get the third server, partially, because it was easier than trying to set up a separate type of server. But also I wanted to use the storage capabilities of that for Ceph, and so I wanted to have another full server with hard drives on it. So anyway, but yeah, you have to let us know how that third quorum machine goes. Bible should be fun. Use it for Linux. Plus, apparently, there's a dude on YouTube with green hair. It's funny. I've taught Linux Plus. I've created Linux Plus courses from start to finish at CBT Nuggets. So I mean, I have completed courses before, and then before that, LPIC 1 courses, which are the same type of content. So anyway. Now I'm paving garden. No, I wish I were paving them. No, sadly, I am not paving anything. The way that the weather is going, it looks like it's going to get paved with snow and ice before too long. This winter is supposed to be particularly snowy. Last winter was really, really warm, and we had almost no snow. But the weather phenomenon has switched from El Nino to La Nina in the Pacific Ocean, and that drastically affects our weather here in Michigan. And so we're supposed to get quite a bit more snow this year. So we'll see how that goes. Last year was just weirdly warm for us. But yeah, nonetheless. Gosh, I wish I could pave my front yard. I am seriously thinking maybe so we're selling our farm, and with the proceeds from that, we were thinking that we would build a garage in front of our house. It would be where the front yard is now. So, I mean, that's like, yeah. But then we're still in the side of a hill and there's a lot of stairs to get up into the house. And then like my office is on the second floor, which is fine for me now. But, my wife had a lot of issues with her heels. And so now we're realizing that a lot of stairs is kind of a pain in the butt, even though she's, doing better and better. We're only going to get older and older. So maybe we should consider selling this house in town and getting, just a single story and one that's not built into the side of a hill. But I don't want to buy a house. I don't want to move. I like my office. Mr. Rogers is on the wall. So I don't know what's really going to happen. But yeah, it's weird to have to consider getting old and what that will mean for where you live. When we bought this house, never even remotely crossed my mind. Is this are we going to be able to climb all these stairs when we're 80? Just never even occurred to me. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Thankfully, the internet works most places. So we're not gonna, even if we were to move, it would mean very little for the online presence and working and stuff. And my job truly is remote. So I'm really, truly blessed there. I don't have a hybrid job. I can be completely remote. And I often think, I know we're running out of time here and I have to go carve pumpkins, but if my sysadmin job would have stayed for another year, maybe, where I could have continued to make YouTube videos regularly and built up more and more. I feel like I was close to where I might have been able to transition to YouTube as a full-time gig, but it just stalled because I had to go back to work. Because I had put 2 years into YouTube, and I'd I think when I got the job a year ago, I was at 12,000 subscribers or whatever, and it was growing. But would another year of activity have gotten me to the point where I could have done it full time? Maybe, but might never know. Anyway, Bite Moose, the missus keeps saying we should get a single-story bungalow over here. Yeah, I don't know how old you are, but I'm to the point now where I'm really seeing the advantage of that. The housing market here is so screwed up, though. It is so hard to find a house and buy a house. So I will have to just see how things go. And I mean, we're fine where we are for a while, but I also don't want to invest a ton of money and put in a garage if we would still be moving, after a while, because to put a garage in our house is going to be extremely expensive because it's going to have to go under our existing house, which means lots of engineering work and stuff to get the house above a garage and have the garage underneath. So it would be a huge expense, and we would never get it out of the house if we were to sell it after doing that. So I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do. Maybe I'll win the lotto, but since I don't buy lottery tickets, it's unlikely. I mean, statistically, I'm probably just about as likely to win the lottery whether or not I buy tickets, but nonetheless. Ooh, Bite Moose, almost 50. So, I mean, me too. I'm 49. I'll be 50 next July. So we're very similar in age then. Yeah. Scott, hello. Scott, you're one of the people. So earlier in the video, I had redirected Gray. I think Gray's still here. To Discord. It turns out that they're already there, but I hadn't logged into Discord in, it's probably been a month, and I felt terrible, and I looked, and there's so many conversations that I just have not even seen, and I see that you are one of them, so I apologize that I had not seen that comment, and one of my goals is to make sure that I am more regularly checking into Discord. I mean, we're paying a lot for that Discord's whatever level 3 does. I don't even remember what it does for us, but but anyway, I should be using it. So yes, and hello. If I didn't start out with that, hello. You'll be 49 this year. All right. Yeah, I know. This year's already gone almost, it seems like. And so I know I talk about it a lot because it's kind of been the one thing that I've been trying to like do outside of work this year. Fishing, I went fishing some, and I don't know how to fish in the fall up here in northern Michigan. It's just the fish don't bite the same. I don't even know what to do, where to go, how to do it. It's so weird. But I'm not going to go ice fishing though. I do not want to ice fish. That doesn't sound fun to me at all. If I think, oh, I could go ice fishing, or I could sit inside and drink a nice warm cup of tea and read a book, I'm going to pick that book and that cup of tea every time. Ugh. So anyway, and bite moose. Yeah, we do have to be careful referring to age too, because Scott is older than us, not by a ton, but he's older than us. So if we mock ourselves for being too old, we deserve scolding from Scott and anyone else. I don't know how old people are. They say you're as old as you feel, so some mornings I am 137 years old. I'll tell you what. Yeah. Metabolism changes slow during the colder months. Great, I believe it too. And so there are some conflicting things. Like, I'm so grateful for the internet, right? Like, you can search for like, what do I do? And sometimes it's like, oh, they're sluggish, so you have to have things that are more active and more, to entice that bite. And then some people say, oh, you need to fish a lot slower because they're sluggish. So I don't even know, man. I don't even know. I caught a fish yesterday though, a largemouth bass. So yeah. Cold weather fishing with a sauna very close by sounds good. I mean, yeah. That I guess that could be a way to do it. Scott, you're 6 years older than me. All right, that's fair. We're still young, as long as we feel young. And yeah, that's what I was talking about. Like, I don't know about this whole. I mean, it's a 2-story house, but our house is a full story above street level. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe we shouldn't keep this house. It's weird. I mean, we can't move to the farm just because it's too far away from everything. It's too far out. As much as I love the farm, it's just too far out. So we need to live closer to town. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Scott just has a little more wisdom for us. Gray trout are better than other species and take care of koi ponds. You can actually kill the fish by feeding them in the winter. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. You could kill the fish by feeding them in the winter. That's weird. So, Gray, you sound a lot like my friend and coworker Eric, who is a huge trout fisherman in Oregon. He just loves trout, and anything else is just less than. Jake at Linux, hey, it is great to see you. We were talking about how the IT world has gone very developer friendly. Like I was talking about, so at my day job, I'm teaching Google Cloud stuff, and while having a Linux background is great, and I understand a lot of like what is being abstracted away, man, everything is just done programmatically with APIs, and you have to code this and code that, and it is I'm an old dog, and all those new tricks, I wish that I would have focused a little bit more on development. So you're caught up on my woes, Jake. If y'all don't know Jake, yeah, he's got a great YouTube channel as well. So click on his name there if you're on YouTube and check out his channel. But anyway, yeah, fishing. I did go trout fishing with my son-in-law once this summer. I caught a tiny little trout. We got skunked the rest of the day. And then next May, I am set to go out to Oregon for another work meeting, like the annual CBT Nuggets get together. And I'm going to go a little early, and I think that my coworker is going to take me trout fishing on some mountain streams and rivers out there. So I'm really looking forward to that. James, hi Sean, where do you think blockchain technology proof of work is headed in cases already in use in military? Man, I don't even know of any use cases in the military. If I'm being completely honest, I have no idea. I so blockchain. I'm so burned out by the blockchain. I mean, it was my job every minute of every day for several years, and then it ended up just going almost belly up. A Filecoin. I was managing Filecoin networks in multiple data centers around the Western U.S. and I have purposefully stayed away from blockchain stuff lately, just because I just don't have a. It hurts my soul to even think much about blockchain technology. Although, I mean, as a technology, I think blockchain is fascinating and has a lot of potential, but I think a lot of it was ruined by dude bros. And so, yeah, I don't have any great knowledge as far as blockchain goes because it just has burned out my passion. Yeah, Bite Moose. Shame you can't get Kyle to drop by at some point. Be a nerd plus chat. Yeah, Kyle recently got another job too. Bite Moose, I assume you're talking about Kyle Rankin. If you're not talking about Kyle Rankin, I don't know who you're talking about, but yeah, Kyle got a new job. He's doing some really cool stuff, and I don't know how much of it is public. So I mean, I won't spill the beans for Kyle, but yeah, Kyle's one of those people that he's so much smarter than me, but he's humble and he's really easy to work with and talk with, and we still chat a lot. Our Linux journal, like the staff from Linux journal when it was in its heyday, we're all actually still pretty close, which is great and one of my favorite parts of of being on the internet. So yeah, Kyle is pretty great. Yeah, all right. It looks like we're about done, which means that I have to go carve pumpkins. So I can't even stay late today. But anyway, the one thing I'm gonna focus on this week is I'll make sure that I check in on Discord at least once a day. I'm so behind there. I'm so sorry. I just feel bad that it's just been totally abandoned. But I'll work on that. And have a great week, everyone. I hope that your fall festivities are in full swing and that the weather is kind and that if you like pumpkin seeds, you get to eat them over the next few weeks. But anyway, have a great one, everyone. And I'll see you on Discord because doggone it, I'm going to go there. All right.